We're back live with you tonight in Focus, and thanks for staying on. The bodies of two more suspected illegal miners were retrieved in a mine in Krugersdorp, Gauteng today. This brings now the number of bodies found to 21 after the first batch of 19 bodies was discovered on Wednesday. The bodies were found placed in white body bags next to a pile of sand as members of the police search and rescue teams combed the scene, cordoned off with yellow police tape. For more on this, we are joined now by Tyrone, the Executive Mayor of Mogale City Municipality. Mayor, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. You yourself saying there's a possibility that more bodies could possibly be found there because the illegal mining there, of course, is happening in a place where there is no infrastructure support necessary for safe mining. What should be happening that is actually not happening currently to be able to decisively focus on this issue of illegal mining and have it under control?
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here. Well, firstly, I must say that SAPS, along with the local council, have been coordinating, and it's actually exemplary the amount of work that we can do together when we coordinate. We've also established the DMCCF, which is the District Mining Combat and Crime Forum, and we have regular engagements, patrols, operations, etc. However, in relation to this incident, the exact locality falls almost on the border between Mogale City and Rand West Municipality. As we do the disruptive activities within the closer sectors, it pushes out the Zamazamas to the periphery, and this is one of the peripheral areas. It seems what happened is that during the rainfall that we experienced over the last 2 days, the tunnels, due to having inadequate drainage or ventilation systems, etc., became waterlogged and collapsed, and therefore actually entrapped people. Hence why it could be reasonable to imagine that there may be more bodies as they uncover. While the search and rescue teams were on site today, due to the topography and how the tunnels are structured, they were using a generator sluice to pull out the water. However, the fumes from the very generator also have an intoxicating quality to them. So they will then after resume operations again tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm sure you would want to have an intervention that not only disperses the Zamazamas further out into other mines, but an intervention that is able to control and have the situation under control. Do you think there is such a long-term intervention that the municipality could deal with, considering the number of active and unused mines that are there?
Yes, you see, the main issue is that there's a lack of coordination between all the government departments. For instance, government has a tendency to operate in silos, and there's unintended consequences of not being a unified government. For instance, the Department of Forestry needs to come in and clear all of the invasive species, which tend to be black wattle. This will start securing and opening the landscape. Then the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy needs to come in to do correct compliance monitoring, check the security of the area, have a program of action whereby the crown reefs, this is when the gold breaches very close to the surface, let's say within 5 meters, as opposed to having like level 1 shafts going down in 20, etc., down into deep mining operations. The Zamazamas, due to the sophistication required for deep mining, tend to go for areas where there are crown tops. This is where the gold is very close to the surface. And the DMRE needs to re-landscape and secure those areas to discourage. Alternatively, simply passing the buck and chasing Zamazamas to different localities isn't going to solve the crisis holistically. The DMRE needs to critically look at formalizing artisanal mining and partnering, because there's no reason why we can't stimulate local economies and benefit the local economy directly by mining rehabilitation, as well as training and upskilling members of that community for more safer mining activities.
Yeah. And is this something that is going to require more budget, I suppose, than what you as the Mogale City Municipality could be able to fund?
So Mogale City is, I'm sure, suffering similar to many other municipalities in South Africa. There are severe financial cash flow constraints, and there are also unfunded mandates imposed onto municipalities. One of them is utilizing TLBs to do the work of DMRE. However, there is a rehabilitation fund available, and with clever coordination, we can share and pool resources. So, for instance, many departments have similar equipment. There's no reason why, as municipality, we 100% support any national or provincial operations for the benefit of the community. But at the same time, while we're using equipment that's generally used for road grading, etc., there's no reason why we can't assist, for instance, DMRE or the Department of Forestry to reclaim and secure areas.
So at this particular point, just as a way of, I suppose, giving some comfort and assurance to the residents, the local ones who are certainly worried about these discoveries and continue to be, in their own words, terrorized by illegal miners, how are you assisting and how are you intervening?
All right. Well, we still engage on regular patrols, not only in that area that's quite the, let's say, high-risk zone. There are also other areas in Mogale City that we regularly go after: seal holes, destroy pendukas, etc. However, what's incredibly important is the best placed asset for the community is the community themselves. And where you see something, say something. It might seem something trivial or small today, but if it's ignored, it becomes exacerbated. And this is one of the issues. So, for instance, there are instances, I'm not going to point out specific communities, but there are times when we must remember that the underground market is also facilitating these programs. So, for instance, these Amazamas aren't some isolated personnel that fly in from the sky. They are hosted by the very same community that are affected by those activities. And this is why it needs a holistic engagement. I don't think simply taking the punitive measures and chasing the whole time is going to yield long-term results. I believe there needs to be a legislative framework so that we can understand how the community itself, as well as interested stakeholders, can actually reclaim and benefit from the minerals under the earth.
Yeah. Technically, how can the forums that you have formed be supported, and what kind of support would you be looking for?
So the forums, including the Storm Committee as well as DMCCF, coordinate more programs of actions. However, what the support we actually need is basically more equipment and resources. It doesn't technically have to even be financial resources. What we're simply looking for are the warm bodies that will assist us in reclaiming and rescaping and also securing the areas. And then indeed, it's outside of our mandate. It's something that the minister will be able to promulgate in terms of designing a framework whereby we can understand how do you apply for a permit, how do you declare your yields, how do you, as someone interested in artisanal mining, get into that space.
Mayor Gray, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.
All right, that's the Executive Mayor of Mogale City Municipality there, Tyrone Gray, on some of the interventions, of course, following the latest discoveries of 21 bodies in an active mine there in Krugersdorp.